I saw this need for the luxury optical segment where everybody was really struggling. The software I have is for any type of business. The more profitable my clients are, the more they can buy my products. I worked in the optical industry from 1992 all the way to present day. The guys that I worked with were lovely human beings. They had too many brands. So at the time when I first started working for them, I think they might have had 30 or 35 different brands that they were working with. Unfortunately, these two guys were pretty young. All of these companies would come in and sell them a ton of product. They would tell them, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about the billing. All of these vendors kept throwing more and more product at them, and it just became a little financial issue for them. When I came in, we spent the next couple of months making some very strong decisions. This is something that I have counseled over the course of my career many times, of the importance of looking at your inventory in your retail space and having a curated collection. Way too many optical shops have so many brands that are repeats of each other. The brand names are different, but the target market, the price point, and the design behind the brand is almost identical to another brand that they have in their office. And there's no need for that. That's the thing, is we took them down from about 30 brands all the way down to 12 major brands. During that time frame, we did a bunch of trunk shows and other things and sales and liquidated a whole bunch of inventory, which then gave them the cash and the capital to pay some of the bills from the people that they needed to pay off. We made very hard decisions. So I'll give an example for people that have been in the optical industry for a long time. They had two brands. They had Kata, which was designed by Blake Kuhara in the mid-90s. And at that time, they also carried a brand called Matsuda. They both, in 1995, were retailing at $350. They both had intricate designs, and they were personal friends with Blake Kuhara. So they decided to stop carrying Matsuda. We just kept moving on with the Kata line. And in that first 6 months, we liquidated the Matsudas that we had, and we sold those off on a sale or discount, or what didn't go on the sale, I ended up putting it into trays and other things, and I used that as second pair sales. We had our own optical laboratory, and I was able to, as long as we were getting the wholesale back on that, worth it to us to do lenses. And so we did a lot of like package deals until we got that product all out of our office. Eventually, after we made these kind of hard decisions and we came down to the 12 core lines that we were going to carry, we then became major dealers for each one of those core lines. Instead of carrying small collections of 12 or 20 pieces, most of those 12 brands that we carried very large collections of 40 to 80 units, and became one of the premier places in the San Francisco market to buy those brands at. The other reason that became such an important thing for that business and really taught me a lot was when you are such a big dealer, the vendor itself bends over backwards to make sure that you're well taken care of. So for instance, if a frame was back ordered for a long period of time, I could reach out to my vendor rep and they would go off to Europe to find the frame that I needed. It became really great. We developed incredible relationships with the vendors that we worked with. But we didn't stay just within that core 12 brands. Every year, I think if you're doing high-end and you're in a high-end optical, whether you're in a high-end retail or anything, you also want to be very innovative. So you might have your core vendors, but we were always testing new independent lines, other things. I think that was another reason that it boomed during that time frame. One of the other good reasons that we had so much success between Albert, Lawrence, and myself, between the three of us and working in that practice, we each had very different personalities. So no matter who walked in the door, they were going to connect with either those two owners or me. And it was pretty hilarious at times. The two guys, they're Asian, and anybody that would walk in that was Asian always wanted a discount from them. But I was the bad cop and the one that kind of set the rules. But we did give discounts to people when it warranted. We did take care of our best customers. So somebody that was coming back, getting multiple pairs of glasses in a year, we did. If somebody came in and would want a discount, it was like, how many frames are you buying? Being on a brand like Chanel, they would do audits of the dealership network. They did not want anybody carrying their product, using their name that did not represent luxury. They're a $14 billion a year company. They're a privately held company. They're long-term health. They've been here 100 years. They want to be here 100 years more. Every company operates differently. There's lots of people that make very short-term decisions. And a lot of those short-term decisions can really greatly affect your long-term growth. Anybody that has had an opportunity to have me as an account manager knows that I don't make quick short-term gains. I have always operated for the long term. I take losses at times. I help my clients out because I really care about that long-term profitability for my client. The more profitable my clients are that I worked with, the more they can buy my products. So I ended up consulting with a lot of the businesses, not just on the brand that they worked on with me, but lots of different aspects of their business. I would have owners call me up with different ideas, or I'm thinking of buying another business. What do you think of this? And I was there as a resource, and I'd been in the industry for so long. We did a lot more than just selling you product in. If you took advantage of all of the industry knowledge that we were giving you, we were really helping you become better retailers. But in that digital presence audit that we did of my Chanel accounts, and I was covering from the Los Angeles Valley all the way to Canada, all the way out to Denver, more than 80% of my clients failed. Something else, Chanel had digital social media assets, and we did lots of trainings over the last decade with our clients, trying to explain to them how important it was for them to improve their social media and that it is a representation of themselves. If they were going to have strong businesses, that it was super important that they had a good representation, because younger audiences are looking at it. It is a way that they judge a business that they're going to do business with. And it was really sad to see that more than 80%, almost 90% actually, failed that digital presence audit. So when I was thinking of something else to do, it came up. It was a pain point for all of my doctors that I would talk about. They would hire a new social media manager potentially, or they'd have somebody in their office that were trying to do this stuff. What we kept finding is people from outside the industry did not know how to market our industry. The staff inside the stores just did not have the skill sets. Chanel would do these audits, and they were auditing the digital presence. So what digital presence meant is they were looking at their websites, they were looking at their social media accounts, They were looking at their Google and Yelp reviews, and they were seeing not only the physical spaces and how these brands, and I'm talking brands, but these were optometrists and opticians I was dealing with, or could be a sunglass location, but they were looking at them, not only their physical spaces and doing an audit of what their interior of their office looks like, what their windows looked like, how their staff interacted with people. They did mystery shopping to see what the client experience and the client journey. That was a good portion of the trainings and things that I worked on with clients. It's something that most frame reps don't work on with accounts. And that was something any of the optical shops and optometrists that had an opportunity to carry that Chanel brand and work with me personally. Most of my doctors are super overwhelmed. They're trying to run a medical/retail business. They have patients, they have staff to take care of, they have 1,000 things to do. Most of them are overpaying a bit for a lot of the marketing that they're getting done, and it is really generic. It does not match a luxury space. The people that they're working with do not have the background in luxury. So it became just between my early adoption, I was doing a whole bunch of training and other things in AI at the time, and there were so many marketing solutions that were coming out that I eventually ended up having this opportunity that came across to start a SaaS company. I have been part of technology for a long period of time. I was on the internet before the internet was even around. I was one of the first 1,000 people on Audible. I remember meeting one of the owners of Waze way back when I was on Waze, when that company first started, but it's been just a part of me. It's something that I love learning about new technology. If you're watching this, you might have gotten exposed, you might have seen all of the AI imagery and other things that I do. I spend a huge portion of my time working on technology and other things when I'm not working for my clients and building my skill sets. I originally saw this need for the luxury optical segment where everybody was really struggling to find the help with their digital presence. Then I had this opportunity to come up where I could start and actually work with a software company. I have a SaaS that I have built and I have white labeled it. I'm also have niched out my software and my platform for solutions for gaming companies and bridge clubs and bridge organizations, and I do a lot of nonprofit work and other things. So I do a lot of work on those segments, and I've been building out a team. So I have people that specialize in social media, I have people that specialize in automations, I have graphic designers, website people. That's the thing, is I am much more the consultant. I work with the owner of what we want to do, what we want to build. So if you get involved with me, the software I have is for any type of business. I kept getting more and more opportunities for other types of businesses to come in and for me to consult. And bottom line is I've spent 32 years working with small businesses. I now have more than a dozen clients that are outside the optical industry. I have all of the software that a small business needs. If you are somebody that's really looking to stand out, and if you're looking at some of my branding, your brand isn't average. I knew that was gonna happen, but I don't know why I went on that subject, so. There was a thought there that I'm losing track.